We'll see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, mate.
We'll see.
You're lucky you're fighting tomorrow.
We'll see.
You're lucky, mate.
We'll see.
Get your hand off me.
No, it's okay, man. Come close, man. I like this. I like this energy. I like this energy.
Yeah, what, you like,
Yeah, you're a kid. You're a kid.
Oh, you're a kid, yeah, kid that's gonna you up. Yeah, kid that's gonna you up. Yeah.
Eubank Jr. was set to take on Poland's Kamil Szeremeta on the undercard of Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol's undisputed title fight in Saudi Arabia this Saturday. After the victory, Eubank Jr. was giving his post-fight interview inside the ring when Conor Benn stepped in. The two came face to face, igniting a heated confrontation that stole the spotlight. As tensions boiled over between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. during their heated altercation in the ring, Eubank Jr. wasted no time taking verbal shots at Benn. With the crowd still buzzing from the chaos, Eubank Jr. locked eyes with Benn and confidently declared, Eubank Jr. said, "Beacon of easy work. Look who we got here, baby. This is the fight everyone wants to see, huh? Yeah, I like that." His words were dripping with confidence, making it clear he saw Benn as his next challenge. Eubank Jr. wasn't holding back as he pointed out the shift in their dynamic, referencing his new weight. "I'm not cutting weight now. Now I'm 168, 170. Ain't no pushing me around now, son. I want you next. We're here. Let's do it." The challenge was unmistakable, and with both fighters in the ring, it was clear that their rivalry had just reached a new level of intensity. As the tension mounted inside the ring, Conor Benn responded to Chris Eubank Jr.'s challenge with sarcasm, mocking him with a ridiculous reply. His exaggerated tone was a clear attempt to downplay the significance of Eubank's performance, trying to undermine his opponent's confidence. Conor Benn replied, "I'm so scared. Ooh, after that performance, you think I'm worried? After that performance, you think I'm worried?" Benn's words were dripping with contempt, brushing off Eubank Jr.'s bravado, but Eubank wasn't rattled. With a confident demeanor, Eubank Jr. turned the conversation back to his own experience, deflecting the sarcasm and calmly pointing out that despite a headbutt, he had been in control. Chris Eubank Jr. noted, "I was having fun, got cut by a headbutt, but you know it's nothing. We're having a good time out here, and yeah, this is my boy, and we're coming for you, baby. We're gonna get some more of that Caro Camp, your money, baby." Despite Eubank's relaxed response, Benn wasn't backing down. He aimed to flip the narrative, challenging the idea that weight would play a factor, and confidently claiming he could take on Eubank Jr. even at a higher weight class with no hesitation. Conor Benn said, "Hey, easy work. What you mean I ain't worried? I'll jump up 2 weight divisions. I ain't gonna be no weight Bo. I'll fight you at middleweight, okay? I ain't concerned. You think you could beat me off the back of my worst day?" Eubank, still composed, didn't engage in more trash talk, but instead issued a simple challenge, his eyes locking on Benn's, inviting him to prove his words in the ring. Eubank Jr. stated, "We'll see." Taking a page from Mike Tyson's playbook, Eubank added a touch of showmanship, intensifying the atmosphere by directly calling for action. Eubank Jr. also noted, "Sign the contract." His challenge was clear and direct. If Benn was so confident, all he had to do was sign. Refusing to be intimidated, Benn looked around the arena, referencing the powerful figures in attendance, suggesting that making the fight official should be an easy task given the circumstances. Benn noted, "Turkey Alal Sheikh, His Excellency is here. Let's get the fight done." But Eubank wasn't ready to drop the psychological warfare, sniffing the air theatrically, and with a smirk he delivered one final taunt, implying that fear was hanging over Benn, even if he didn't want to admit it. Eubank Jr. said, "It's not good though. I can smell that. It is the stink of fear." Unfazed, Benn shot back, denying any sense of fear and challenging Eubank to back up his words with action, turning the conversation once again into a contest of toughness. Conor Benn noted, "No one's scared of that. What are you going to do about it?" Eubank stayed calm, knowing the next step would be decided not by words, but by contracts and fists. He simply reminded Benn that he had already done his part by stepping into the ring, leaving the next move up to him. Eubank Jr. said, "I just did my job. Once you sign the contract, we'll see next." Finally, the back and forth ended with both men seemingly on the same page, as Eubank agreed to push forward, ready to settle their differences inside the ring. "Okay, let's get it done."
Can I make this fight happen right now? No, well, I want to have him come here right now. Hey, Chris! Don't f up the bag, son. Don't f up the bag.
But before that, on Thursday, Conor Benn launched a foul-mouthed tirade at Chris Eubank Jr. and pushed his fellow Briton in the chest during an altercation in Saudi Arabia. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn were separated by security during a run-in at a hotel. Footage released on Friday showed Eubank Jr. and Benn trading words at the main fighter hotel, with Benn shoving his rival and launching numerous expletives at him. Security kept the pair separated throughout. "You're lucky you're fighting tomorrow," Benn told Eubank Jr., stepping closer to his rival.
You would show up on the damn kind of way, huh?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you like what? Like what, you're lucky you're fighting tomorrow, I'll fuck you up right now.
The tension between Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. has been building all week, but things escalated when Benn made a bold statement during the pre-fight build-up. On Thursday, Benn didn't hold back, sending a direct threat to Eubank Jr. "I'll see you straight after the fight tomorrow night and get in the ring and give it to you. You are lucky." Benn continued his tirade, using foul language and warning a security member who had stepped in to separate him and Eubank Jr. to remove his hand. The heated exchange only intensified as neither fighter was backing down.
Get in that ring.
Yeah, what? Get in that ring. I'll get in that ring and give it to you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, mate. You're f***ing lucky you're fighting tomorrow. You're lucky, mate. Get your hand off me.
A smiling Eubank said, "It's okay, let him come close. I like this energy," before being shoved in the chest by Benn.
It's okay, let him come close, man. I like this. I like this energy. I like this energy.
Yeah, what? You like
Yeah, you're a kid. You're a kid.
You're a kid. Yeah, kid, let's go. You up? Yeah, kid, let's go. You up?
Benn also threatened, "I'll give you a good beating in front of 60,000. That's what's gonna happen. I'll be there tomorrow, arrogant prick."
What do you think about that little altercation, Chris?
Little. That is the key word in that sentence. Little kid.
What do you make just about his energy, the way he went about things just now? Is that still the plan, Chris, that fight?
That's who they want to fight next.
Eubank Jr. labeled him a kid, with Benn then accusing him of arrogance. In September, Eubank Jr., who has won 33 pro bouts with 3 defeats, said he expects a fight with Benn to happen within the next 12 months. Benn, who has always insisted he is innocent of intentionally doping, is currently suspended from fighting in the UK after UK anti-doping and the British Boxing Board of Control successfully appealed against the lifting of his ban. He has won all 23 of his fights, but his last 2 wins, against Rodolfo Orozco in 2023 and Peter Dobson in February, have taken place in America. Eubank Jr. later tweeted, "This little weasel Conor Nigel waited to the day I'm starving and dehydrating myself making weight to grow some balls and pull up on me." Eubank Jr. and Benn were due to fight one another in October 2022, almost 3 decades after their fathers. Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn clashed for the second and final time in their historic rivalry. However, it was revealed on the week of the fight that Conor Benn had failed 2 drug tests. The bout was subsequently cancelled, and Benn continues to serve a suspension in Britain, though he and Eubank Jr. have remained linked ever since. A national anti-doping panel lifted Benn's suspension in 2023, but the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping (UKAD) successfully appealed that decision. The ban was thus reinstated, although Benn suggested in September that it could come to an end this month. "I've been proving my innocence," Benn told in an interview in September. He also noted, "Forget the narrative that's being pushed. I was cleared a year and a half ago by the people who had done the test." Benn also defended himself, claiming that despite the controversy, he passed all his UKAD tests during the same period. He stated, "I had passed all my UKAD tests during that same period, so their authority I had passed. Critics say I haven't done this, I haven't done that, but the reality is I've gone through every avenue possible to do that." Fighting to clear his name has been a long, exhausting battle for Benn, one that he insists is nearing a conclusion. Benn further added, "This is something I'm willing to fight for and have fought for, and I'm glad it's coming to an end. I haven't bent, I haven't swayed on the truth, and that's all that matters to me, my integrity." Benn has remained steadfast in his refusal to accept the ban, stating he would never admit guilt for something he didn't do. He said, "I couldn't accept the ban. If I ain't done something, I won't raise my hand to it. Never this. I stay true in what I believe in, and the easy option would be, yeah, I'll just take this but I continue to fight and spend hundreds of thousands, missing out on big opportunities. A late in the day drug test failure for Benn put paid to that, and since then he has fought just twice in the US and has failed to get his British license back since first being suspended. Eubank has fought 3 times, firstly losing to Liam Smith by stoppage, then reversing the result in the rematch, and this past weekend he got a stoppage win over Kamil Sarameda. As pros weigh in on the upcoming showdown, former world champion Carl Froch expressed his unease with Conor Benn's trash talk leading up to his fight with Eubank Jr., particularly given Benn's recent inactivity in the ring. Froch stated, "I know him, I've met him a few times, he is such a nice kid, a lovely young man. He's obviously a fighter and wants to get in there and do some damage and get the knockout, and he's exciting when he fights. But he's not fought anybody, and he's talking like a roadman killer. I don't get it. I understand he's got to sell the fight and big it up, but it is there anyway." Transitioning to Benn's readiness for the fight, Froch recalled his own experience sparring with Eubank, warning Benn about the challenges he might face. Also, Benn's got to go up to 160 pounds. "I think he's gonna struggle. Eubank can bang a little bit, he's quite tough. I've sparred him quite a few rounds, he gave me good spars, I've got to be honest. He can tough it out." Froch further elaborated on Benn's attitude, noting the stark contrast between Benn's confidence and the reality of the fight. Benn is talking about an easy fight, a mismatch. He's gonna walk through him and smash him to bits. "I understand he's got to sell the fight, but be careful what you wish for, because when you get in there and the reality starts raining in on the side of your head and straight in your face and Eubank starts swinging away, this could be more difficult than Conor Benn thinks." Froch's reflections highlight the fine line between promotion and underestimation in boxing, reminding both fighters and fans that every matchup carries inherent risks. Benn was not impressed with Eubank's latest win and promised to beat him inside 3 rounds. Turki Alalshik, who has played a significant role in bringing major boxing events to Saudi Arabia, confirmed to the Stomping Ground that May 2025 is the targeted date for the much-anticipated Eubank Jr. vs. Benn clash. Eubank Jr. previously told MailSport that he was targeting a bout with Benn in that month, before taking on Canelo later in the year. The matchup has significant historical implications given the legendary rivalry between their fathers, Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. This adds an intriguing layer to an already compelling narrative. Adam Smith, a prominent figure in the boxing world, weighed in on the fight.
Of course we're going to see it. And secondly, of course I want to see it, and it's going to happen. It's the biggest fight outside the heavyweight division. The history is there. I work with their fathers. They're much better fighters than the sons. However, the characters are there, the spice, the needle, the weird weight difference, the whole background, the fact it nearly happened before.
Smith's insights emphasize the unique dynamic surrounding this fight, highlighting not only the familial legacy, but also the rivalry that has been reignited after years of anticipation. The failed attempts to set up this bout in the past only served to heighten the drama. Continuing his assessment of the Benn vs. Eubank Jr. fight, Adam Smith highlighted a significant issue in boxing today. He pointed out that while elite fighters like Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev are incredibly talented, they lack mainstream recognition. "The trouble is that I have no times to come in on this," he began. "The trouble is that Bivol and Beterbiev, you walk down the street and no one knows who they are. And that's the problem. They're the high-class boxers who we bang on about, but unfortunately, they're not crossing over." In contrast, Smith emphasized the star power of the Benn and Eubank names, noting how their legacies resonate with the public. "These two, you walk down the street, you ask about Nigel and Conor Benn or Chris. People want to see this fight. It's a fight that the public are demanding, and they will get it." His comments reflect a broader concern about the sport's ability to connect with fans outside the hardcore boxing community. Smith's enthusiasm for the upcoming match underscores its potential to draw in a wider audience, reminding everyone that the narratives and personalities surrounding boxing can be just as important as the action inside the ring. In a fierce critique of the potential matchup between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, Simon Jordan didn't hold back. "Listen, I understand the demand for it. I don't like the demand for it," he began, laying bare his feelings about the fight. He described the bout as a pseudo has-been against a never was, suggesting suggesting that both fighters are riding on the coattails of their father's legacies rather than establishing their own. Jordan continued, emphasizing the disparity in their standings compared to the legendary careers of their fathers, stating they're trading on their father's legacies, who were legitimate champions that went into rings with legitimate achievements. Neither one of these guys have got it. He pointedly criticized Eubank Jr.'s past performances, noting, every time Eubank Jr. steps up against B-level competition, he talks about who he's gonna fight next and never does it. This pointed remark underscored his frustration with Eubank's failure to secure significant fights that would validate his claim. Jordan's remarks encapsulate a growing skepticism within the boxing community regarding the credibility of this matchup. His harsh assessment raises questions about whether Eubank Jr. and Benn can truly live up to the legacies of their fathers, or if they are simply engaging in a spectacle that lacks the substance of genuine championship bouts. Continuing his scathing evaluation of the Benn vs. Eubank Jr. fight, Simon Jordan reflected on Conor Benn's potential as a fighter. He said, acknowledging Benn's early promise, "I thought that Conor Benn was on a trajectory to be a competitive fighter, maybe a title challenger in his weight class." However, he quickly shifted gears, asserting that the current hype around the fight is more about name recognition than skill. He added, "This is just trading off their fathers' names," highlighting how both fighters are relying on their legacies rather than showcasing their own achievements. Jordan also expressed his disdain for the theatrics surrounding the fight, comparing it to a wrestling spectacle. If the public wanted it, they like this kind of show, he stated, but he was critical of the presentation. "I thought it looked like WWE on Saturday. I thought he looked like Cat Red Wolf Conor Benn when he walks in the ring. I thought it was embarrassing." His strong disapproval suggests that he believes the fight lacks the legitimacy and respect that genuine boxing matches should embody. He concluded with a dismissive tone, saying, "If that's what we want, then fine," indicating his concern that the sport might be veering into a realm where entertainment overshadows athleticism and integrity. Jordan's comments reflect a broader critique of modern boxing, questioning whether the industry is prioritizing spectacle over substance. As the discussion about the Benn vs. Eubank Jr. fight heats up, Adam Smith offered insights into the unique characters of the fighters involved. He acknowledged the contrast between the two fighters. He reflected on the legacy of their fathers. However, he noted that neither Chris Eubank Jr. nor Conor Benn has yet reached that level of achievement in their own careers.
It's entertainment, but if you spend time with Conor like I have and with Chris Eubank, they are very, very different characters. Their fathers were. That was part of the beauty of Eubank and Benn back in the day. But as Simon said, they were accomplished world champions. They were fighting at a much higher level. Chris Eubank hasn't done that, Junior. Neither's Conor Benn.
Despite these criticisms, Smith recognized the undeniable appeal of the matchup. He recalled how that rivalry captivated audiences, despite many not knowing Groves beforehand.
It's the fight that everybody wants to see because you actually dust underneath the heavyweight division. And there's not that many other great, yes, Boazzi Yard, there's a few that you can think of, but this is a fight that the casual fans will get involved in, like they did with Froch and Groves back in the day. No one really knew. People had heard of Carl Froch, people didn't know George Groves, but suddenly they had a hate for each other. We had a story, we had a great fight, we had a controversial finish, we had a rematch.
They're both super middleweights.
That filled Wembley, and that whole year was a great story
Can it
for the
still
British
happen,
public.
Adam? If so, where?
It's going to happen, and it's going to happen in Riyadh, and I think it's going to happen in February.
His remarks underscore the potential for this fight to generate significant excitement and drama, drawing parallels to memorable boxing narratives from the past. In the lead up to their much anticipated fight, Chris Eubank Jr. expressed his frustration over the recent confrontation with Conor Benn.
I don't like an idiot getting in front of me while I'm trying to cut weight and pushing me. Of course I don't like that. I don't like somebody getting into the ring and putting his head in my face, but I understand that this guy wants to take me out. There is a real beef between us. It is real. It's not just because our fathers fought. We do not like each other.
Eubank's candid remarks revealed the depth of animosity between the two fighters, suggesting that their issues go beyond mere promotional antics. The rivalry is charged with personal stakes, and both fighters seem eager to settle their differences in the ring. Following this heated exchange, Conor Benn reacted by declaring that the fight is a done deal. His confidence reflects a renewed excitement surrounding the matchup, which has been highly anticipated by fans and pundits alike. The intensity of their face-off highlighted the personal stakes involved, with both fighters eager to prove themselves against each other.
He just talks rubbish.
Yeah.
I smell fear. Yeah, he just talks rubbish. It's just rubbish talk. You know, there's no thought behind it.
So, you know, from now then, what's the process? How do we get
The fight's done. The fight's done.
The fight's done already?
Done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Eddie, the fight's done?
What?
He's saying the fight's done. It's done, huh?
His Excellency wants to make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll deal with some business, but I don't see any other fight for anyone. He's ready. He's ready tonight.
Yeah.
As I said, 6 weeks. 6 weeks for that.
Yeah.
I mean it. I mean it. I say I live this life. I'm about this life. Even the past 2 years being extremely unmotivated. Like, so unmotivated the past 2 years and finding it extremely hard to train. And, you know, battling demons. I still get up and do it.
Benn's remarks came with the backing of Eddie Hearn, his promoter, who emphasized the fight's potential. Hearn stated that if His Excellency wants the fight to happen, it will indeed come to fruition. The combination of Benn's reaction and Hearn's agreement not only fuels the excitement for the fight, but also underscores the significance of the event, as it marks a pivotal moment in both fighters' careers. As the anticipation builds for the clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, boxing fans are on the edge of their seats, eager to witness this highly charged matchup with a storied history between their families and the stakes never higher. Both fighters are set to prove who truly belongs at the top of the boxing hierarchy. Will Eubank Jr. harness his experience, or can Benn defy the odds and secure a monumental victory? What are your predictions for this epic showdown? Let us know in the comments below.